Well, economist Steve Moore predicted this would all happen. He joins me now. You nailed it, Steve. Good for you. So bottom line is the Anti-Inflationary Act is inflationary.
That's right. That's why I always called it, David, the Inflation Acceleration Act, not Reduction Act. And this is like, the real question here is, did the Biden administration and the Democrats just lie about the numbers? In other words, did they know that these numbers that they were circulating about reducing the deficit were false? I'm not surprised about this. I don't think you are. We talked about this on your show. And then you have a $300 billion green energy slush fund in this bill. And as you were just saying, that's part of the Republican plan to bring down the deficit. Why do we have to spend $300 billion on more green energy subsidies?
Well, and about that slush fund, Democrat Joe Manchin says that was a lie because he was promised a lot of energy production elements in the anti-inflation bill. And here's what he said about it. He said, instead of implementing the law as intended, unelected ideologues, bureaucrats, and appointees seem determined to violate and subvert the law to advance a partisan agenda that ignores both energy and fiscal security. Of course, he comes from a fossil fuel state, West Virginia. He wants more production of fossil fuels in the United States. He wants all of the above. And some people say, look, you should have known that before you made a deal with these folks. It was your mistake, Senator Manchin. But can anything be done about it now, or are we stuck with this thing?
Well, Joe Manchin made a deal on this bill, and I think he made a big mistake, and I think he would agree now, too, because the Biden administration had basically said we're going to do more drilling, more pipelines, more infrastructure so we can produce our oil and gas. And guess what, David? They haven't done any of that. He was snookered. And I hope that now he would work with Republicans to repeal some of this bill. It's important for your viewers to understand that the reason we went from 1.5% inflation under Trump to 9% inflation last summer was because of the out-of-control government spending. And we still have that happening.
Well, the other thing we had when Biden came into office, he's always saying he came in and the economy was terrible. We also had a great growth rate. We had a 6% growth rate, and yet that has just come down. As inflation has been going up from the left of your screen, you can see it's come down a bit, but it's still much higher than it was. It was 1.4% when Biden came in. Look at the economic growth. When Biden came in, it was 6.3%. He had this glory days when we were recovering from the pandemic. And then all these trillion-dollar bills came in, and look what happened. It went down. That's called stagflation, is it not?
It is. And I think that people understand that the reason that the inflation rate has come down finally is not because of anything Congress has done, David. As you know, it's because the Fed has had to raise interest rates from 0% a year and a half ago to now where we're at 5% on the Fed funds rate. And that has, the Fed had to do that to bring inflation down. But guess what? That suppresses economic growth. And you're seeing problems with the banks because of that. So get back to the idea of cutting government spending. That's why I really like this bill, by the way, that passed the House. And I think it's an extraordinary achievement. I was laughing, David, one of your last panelists was saying that Biden is better for democracy. Better for democracy? Isn't democracy negotiating when you have divided power?
All right, well, that's a whole other kettle of fish. But you mentioned the banks, and First Republic now is essentially done. I mean, that's going under receivership. FDIC is going to be paying for it. Why is it tanking, and is it going to spread?
The reason some of these banks like First Republic and Silicon Valley Bank have failed or are failing is because of the spike in the interest rate. So they're holding on to bonds that have 2 or 3% interest rates, but now the interest rate is 5%. That means the value of those bond holdings, the assets these banks are holding, and by the way, I'm not going to sound like I'm panicking here, but I do think you're going to see other banks in similar trouble if the Fed has to continue to raise rates to bring inflation down.
Well, the mistake that they made was betting that despite all the spending that we've been talking about from Biden, that we could continue to spend and print money and it would never affect inflation or interest rates. Well, it did. And Larry Summers, who was the Treasury Secretary under Bill Clinton, he's a Democrat, he spoke of this a couple of years ago. He warned that, and I'm quoting here, we have a generation of central bankers who are defining themselves by their wokeness. And the woke idea in monetary policy means that you can print as much money as you want and there will be no consequences. Well, following that, The Fed made mistakes and private bankers made mistakes.
I couldn't say it better. I mean, why is anybody surprised? Everyone knew we weren't going to stay at zero interest rates, David. Everyone knew that. And so I'm surprised that they were caught with their pants down and weren't prepared for the big increases in interest rates that we've seen. Again, all this circles around, though, to the $6 trillion spending spree that Biden took on that was completely unnecessary. What was the old saying by Rahm Emanuel? That a crisis is a terrible thing to waste. And that's what the liberals did when they took over the presidency and the Congress.
Well, has reality finally woken up these woke bankers?
Well, there is a move against some of this ESG stuff. I mean, you're starting to see, some of the big funds like Fidelity saying, we're not doing ESG anymore. We're going to focus on making money for our clients. What a concept, right, David?
Yeah, it's this kind of common sense is squeezing its way into their way of thinking. All right, we got to leave it at that. Steve Moore, have a great weekend. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.